Ya vi que estás aquí, tan cerquita de mí, y me hacía falta, porque la última vez que vine tú no...
Welcome everyone, you join us for a particularly eventful episode of Sintra or Bust. We're heading north on what is almost our final leg. We're leaving Covilha at the foot of the Serra de Estrela mountains and heading north to Vinhais, a staging post on the way to Santander and the ferry home. On the way, we tackle whirling birds of prey, a racy tractor driver, a sand monster, and the straightest of straight roads. I go for a swim, and we have to deal with a man overboard moment, which puts all of our plans into disarray. Initially, things were going just as you would expect for Portugal in mid-July. Bright sunshine, great scenery, and dry roads. Now, if you've been following the tour, you'll know that Steve is riding a rather aged BMW. This fact seems to have attracted the attention of some local wildlife. We rounded a corner to find a whole slew of birds of prey circling above us. The only reason we could think of was that they were waiting for Steve's bike to finally croak its last. Buzzards amassing to do a death dance. It's definitely not something you see every day. We hightailed it out of Dodge as quickly as we could, just in case. We carried on, gaining quite a bit in altitude, and then stopped for a break and to admire the landscape. The vegetation in this area of Portugal is pretty sparse, and it seems that the only viable crop here is olives. It was all very quiet, very hot, and a little eerie. Of course, dry sunny roads that are empty are a real temptation for sports bike riders. It's clearly not just bike riders, though, who get caught up in the thrill of speed. Ah well, whatever floats your boat, I guess. If you watched our earlier episodes, you'll know that on a few occasions we've been tested by bars of sand laying across the road. So much so that I've named them sand monsters, and a real doozy was waiting for me just as I exited a bend on this lovely dry road. We were beginning to get pretty savvy to the dangers of the sand monsters and how to deal with them, so this time there was no danger of running off road. Pressing onwards and of course upwards, I was looking for a small side road that would take us high up into the hills and to a particularly impressive viewpoint, the Miradouro do Penedo Dourão. I hope I said that right. Now we're all quite accustomed to riding on mountains with sheer drops to the side, but these views were just fabulous. As we arrived at the car park for the viewpoint in blazing heat, there was an unseemly scrabble for the very little shade that was on offer, and Steve and I raced for the same spot under the trees. Sorry, Steve. Better luck next time.
Right, you get off your bike and I'll park mine in here. Oh, lovely. That'll do.
The outlook over the valley below was absolutely stunning, and we took a little time to admire the views and, of course, grab a selfie or two. Just as we were preparing to go, we were treated to a spectacular aerial display, courtesy of birds of prey that clearly had the run of the area.
Let's get the show on the road, shall we? Try to look majestic and imposing. Oh yes, very good. Well, that's enough of the straight stuff. Let's go for a turn, shall we? Very graceful. Right then, ballet squad at the ready. Initiate spiral formation. Get ready to merge into the ladder stack. Come on, number 4. Close the gap, close the gap. Now square off. Commence separation. Very good. Number 5, you're coming in too hot. And now you've missed your spot, man. What are you doing? Well, pair up with number 1 then. Well, that doesn't seem very tidy, does it? That's better. Very graceful. Oh yes, we'll have more of that. Oh, wait a minute. That doesn't look like one of ours. What's he doing? Number 1, are you all right, man?
I'm okay, sir. Just a near miss. Fighter nearly got me, though.
Well, the show must go on.
Doing my best to look serene, sir. Tail feathers a little ruffled, though. Headed for home.
Jolly good. Tally-ho.
One eagle against countless buzzards. It didn't seem to put him off, though. And so we arrived at our digs, the Casa de Alpajares. The owner was there to lead us to our parking space and our rooms for the night. The views over the surrounding countryside were truly spectacular, and I stopped to take it all in.
God. Yeah guys, we're staying here.
I'm not sure though that Steve was actually looking at the landscape.
We've got a terrible view.
As far as overnight stays go, this was one of my favourites. We took the time to grab a dip in the pool and then chill out with a few beers and some weird, chewy beans. After a superb home-cooked meal of veal steaks with all the trimmings, we headed for our digs as we had an early start in the morning. And when morning came, Mike appeared particularly keen. While I was settling the bill, he turned his bike round and readied it for the off. The gate was released and he was away. After a few miles of travelling down the straightest of straight roads, it was obvious that Mike wanted to get a bit of a move on. So we left him to it, and we agreed to meet up in our next evening stop in the town of Vinhais. This left Steve and I to explore the roads at a rather more sedate pace. It wasn't a very long day in the saddle, so we turned up at the town of Vinhais in good time to find Mike, grab a beer, and go for something to eat.
What do they do about hills? Why have they all built their fucking things on a great big hill?
The town of Vinhais was very quiet. Too damn quiet, in fact. It took us over an hour to find the only restaurant open in town, and when we did, it turned out that no one there spoke English. At all. After a few misplaced gestures and helping of sign language, we were offered a telephone. The waitress had thought to phone a relative in Lisbon who could speak English very well.
I'm off man.
Mas também se precisar de alguma coisa,
Yeah, we're on motorbikes.
After Steve had given them his life story and a view of the tour so far, we settled on the evening's lamb offering, plus whatever it came with, and of course, a glass or two of the local vino.
You've got wonderful roads here. We enjoy to ride on these roads.
não se lembra de nós.
Não, claro que não.
Já estávamos todos velhos.
Anyway, here is your colleague. She is now ready to talk to you. Here you go. Thank you again. Obrigado.
With Steve clearly having mastered Portuguese, we got our heads down, ready for the next day. But in the morning, we were treated to a bit of a shock. Mike arrived at breakfast, suited and booted, ready for the road. Very unusual. He briefly explained that he was tired and missing home, and had made the decision overnight to go straight back. Now Mike was never one for protracted discussion, but this certainly came as a surprise, and in a flash, he was gone. Well, there wasn't actually a flash, but you get the general idea. As Mike had clearly made up his mind, all I could do was wish him a good trip back and ask him to let us know when he got back safely. Join us in our next episode called And Then There Were Two to see how we got on. As a spoiler alert, Mike made his presence felt even though he wasn't, well, present.